We pulling? What's up, I'm Jimfro, and this is our Mythic Guide to Pit of Saron. If you want to see a full run-through of the dungeon, check out the Discord link below. We'll go over the bosses first, and then any notable trash at the end. Before we get into the bosses, the first thing you'll notice when you step into the dungeon are these yellow markers on your minimap. While you're killing trash, you also need to make sure to talk to the homies on these markers, which allows you to get to the last boss. The first boss of the dungeon is Forgemaster Garfrost. The first thing he'll do is target 2 players with circles and after a few seconds launch a rock at their position. It doesn't really matter where you drop these, but for max space, along the wall is probably best. Then the boss puts a circle under the tank and the tank wants to stand next to one of these 2 rocks. Then the tank will take a big hit and explode that rock, spawning a bunch of stuff to dodge and creates a large puddle where the rock landed. If you like Axe and run away from the rocks instead of exploding one, you'll get stunned for forever and probably die. After the explosion, you'll want to bring the boss over to the other rock because he's going to channel Glacial Overload. When he does this, you'll see beams coming from the skulls on the walls, and you need to LOS the beams by hiding behind the rock. You'll know you're doing it right when the red skull above your head disappears. When the cast finishes, the rock's going to explode, doing a ton of damage and spawning some more stuff to dodge. He's also pulsing damage throughout the entire fight, so definitely try to help the healer when the second rock explodes. Then the fight just repeats from there. Rocks, tank hit, LOS, easy peasy. The next boss is Ick and Krick, and who doesn't love a duo boss? At least these 2 share health. This fight switches between an add phase and a fixate phase. During the add phase, the little boss and 2 adds will constantly be casting. All of the casts suck, but you absolutely need to keep interrupting Krick's death bolt. If that goes off, it basically one-shots whoever's targeted. You're dead. Any leftover kicks can be used to interrupt the adds, and fun fact, decursing from Mage, Druid, or Shamans also counts as an interrupt. You need to kill the 2 adds real fast and then bring the big boss back on top of the little boss. There's also some little circles that go out on everyone that drop pools at your feet. Just bring these to the wall whenever you can. The fixate phase is where the small boss jumps back onto the big boss and starts chasing players around the room. If you're the one targeted, run away. The fight definitely feels more chaotic than it actually is. For the last boss, if you liberated all 6 camps, you're ready to head up the hill towards Scourgelord Tyrannus. When you walk into the room, you're going to see bone piles everywhere. These bone piles are the main mechanic of the fight, and your goal is to freeze as many of these as possible. The first thing the boss does is light up some of these piles with a green beacon. These are the ones that you should be prioritizing freezing first because the adds that spawn from them do unavoidable damage, and the less you have, the better. The way you freeze these piles is from the blue circles that'll go out on players. If you get a blue circle, run to a beacon and use your circle to freeze it along with any nearby piles you can grab. After 2 rounds of this, he's going to cast Army of the Dead, spawning a bunch of adds from the piles. The small adds give your tank a stacking disease, so if you can cure disease, that'll help your tank out. The bigger adds do big pulsing damage and should be prio killed as soon as possible. That's really about it. This one's pretty simple. Those are the bosses, but here's a few notable trash mobs that you should know about as well. Dreadpulse Liches cast Torrent of Misery when they reach 50% HP, doing huge damage to the group over 6 seconds, so you for sure want to use some personals to help the healer. Plague Talon Gargoyles will pick up a player and do big damage while carrying them away. Everyone needs to swap to these to break their shield and interrupt their cast. Or if you're a paladin, just freedom whoever's picked up. The Death Whisperers don't do anything special, but they have risen undead with them that won't die unless the Death Whisperers die, so single target the Death Whisperers first. Glaciath is a mini-boss leading to the last boss. He'll target your group with circles that drop ice patches after a few seconds, so try to put these behind you as you move through the area. He also occasionally puts up a frontal shield, and you need to be behind him to do damage while it's up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the dungeon. If you want to see an extended guide of us running through the dungeon where we talk about every pull and every boss as we go through, check out the Patreon links below. Peace.